Did Sam Bankman-Fried not only ruin FTX, but Solana too? And what kind of dirty dealings did Digital Currency Group do with loans from Genesis to artificially prop up GBTC for Grayscale, and how much are they hurting? That's what we're talking about today. If you guys want to learn more, stay tuned. Let's get into it. As if we didn't need to know this for sure, but now messages, private messages from SBF are now coming out. Get this. He never planned to give any money to charity. That's right, it was all a front. He was trying to make himself as marketable and palatable as usual, and the mainstream media lapped it up like it was a gourmet dinner. So SBF never planned to give his money away to charity. It was just a ploy to get people to give him more money for him to misuse at your expense. Also, now there's more evidence coming out of how Digital Currency Group, DCG, borrowed funds from Genesis, a lender platform, in order to prop up the price of GBTC. And their average buy-in price of GBTC was $40. Do you know what it's trading at now? $9. So they are hurting. Not only does Digital Currency Group basically owe itself over $1 billion, but now they're taking out, basically, they're hurting their own companies that they also own in their portfolio. Again, we are still waiting to hear what Genesis plans to do, because don't forget, they also were burned by Three Arrows Capital. Three Arrows Capital defaulted on a loan from Genesis as well. So we're just waiting, and you know, you will be the first to hear on this channel what is happening with Genesis, if they are in fact declaring bankruptcy, or how, if any other options they have to reorganize their funds to make it so that doesn't have to happen. Now, what's happening with Binance? Is it true that people are actually saying good things about a centralized exchange? There's a lot of accusation out there that I am promoted by Binance. This is not the case by any means. This channel is not sponsored by anyone. I don't offer paid promotions, sponsorships, what have you. So Binance now is proving their funds through the Merkle tree, on-chain data that you can prove how many Bitcoin they have. Now, Bitcoin is the only token able to, so that you can actually verify funds using Merkle tree. Other cryptocurrencies, blockchains don't necessarily allow that, but Binance is claiming to be widening this ability for other tokens that they offer on their exchange and that they have in their reserves. So again, centralized exchanges are desperate to get people to trust them again. And you know why? Because people are flocking to decentralized exchanges, which is such a good thing. And it's something that I talked about this past summer, how I thought in 2023, 2024, and moving forward, more and more attention is going to be paid and more users are going to be moving towards decentralized exchanges. And we're seeing a huge uptake in transactions and users on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, Balancer, and also SushiSwap. So pay attention to those, but most importantly, pay attention to new implementations of decentralized exchanges. Back in the day, it was just peer-to-peer transactions and the volume was painful. It was really difficult to get a trade through without much slippage. Now, with liquidity providers and this concept of pools, that's solved the liquidity issue. Now I'm paying attention to how they can make it even more user-friendly and possibly working in fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. That's what I'm most interested in and excited for. I know a lot of you have also been asking a lot about what we think is going to happen with Solana because of their close ties with FTX. It's dropped like 60-something% since the fallout of FTX because Sam Bankman-Fried was, number one, a huge investor in Solana, also in Serum. But it's important to note that, yeah, there are those investment ties, and they did lose something like $200 million because their funds from the Solana Foundation lost $200 million because their funds were being held in FTT, because don't you know, that's how Sam Bankman-Fried and Alameda Research love to invest in companies. They printed out their little token and they just sent it everywhere, and Solana Foundation was one of them. So they lost a big chunk of $200 million. But it's really important to note that Sam Bankman-Fried, he might be able to trade cryptocurrency, but he is not a developer, and he is not influencing the development of Solana or an active participant in that. So there is some disconnect. But so I think some people might be optimistic in the long-term effects of Solana and in its continuation in the next bull run. Personally, you guys know that Toby and I sold a huge chunk of our Solana holdings like 3 weeks ago, and we're going to be revisiting that possibly in the future, but our CT Club members will be the first to know. If you want to know what we are doing with our cryptocurrency investments and why, I highly recommend you check out the CT Club. A link for it is down below in the video description. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you learned something, hit like, hit subscribe. My name's Heidi. This is Crypto Tips.